The festival feels very fresh to us this year. It feels like the independent arena is about to embark on a whole nother chapter in its history. And in that sense, that years ago one looked at a lot of independent work as kind of having an insular quality to it, a kind of almost, at its worst, navel-gazing, where stories were basically about what filmmakers could talk about, which is their own experience, which was limited. Now it feels like the stories are much broader than that.
I think we've done a really nice job at evolving the process over the years, from when you and I started to what it is now.
We're definitely ethical.
Yeah, no,
we're
it's
definitely comprehensive.
Definitely.
Almost probably too much so, still.
Yeah, I think we err on the side of giving over attention to each film, but that's all right. That's our job, and that's what we all know how much blood, sweat, and tears went into each one of these films that was submitted to us. So.
And we don't want to miss one. It seems like even just in the time I've been here, there are more and more and more really high-quality films coming out of the American market.
Yeah, let's talk about America.
That makes it a little tricky because being a Discovery Festival, we can't really rely on standards that we even used last year.
Yeah.
And especially now that we're starting to, especially at the beginning of the process, I remember seeing a lot of movies that were like aping indie movies as opposed to aping Hollywood movies.
It's like there's a whole new frontier of new material. Or, as we said in this year's festival, you've got a whole generation of independent feature filmmakers, especially who've come of age, and they have different stories to tell than what we think of as classic indie stories. They're telling more mature stories, I think.
And more global stories, right? The U.S. films are less U.S.-centric than they've been, and they've opened up. We've got all those films with U.S. films in other languages.
I mean, with the international cinema, every country has its own sort of system by which new work is emerging, and you're never entirely sure how that's happening. Sometimes it's easy with the countries that have the really great film institutes, or is this a country that we really should be finding some really small little cinematheque that's where all the filmmakers are coming out of. So it's kind of like trying to figure out, too, when you're traveling, what it is that you should even be learning.
That's what's great about this job for me. Like, watching these movies, I always feel like I get a barometer of our times.
Right.
And you're really just seeing like a clearinghouse of American films made by, independents, and really what has been on people's minds, not necessarily like that year, but, these films they take about 5 years to make. So it's like kind of like they almost create a moment, but it started about 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago.
There's a vibe sometimes to a film, don't you think? I mean, there's, we play a lot of different kinds of movies, and we're the first people to say there's no such thing as a Sundance movie. But you watch this movie that has such independent spirit. You can just tell that they shot it over weekends, and it's that small quality that just sticks with you, and you think that's got the right vibe for us.
This year we could have put three kinds of festivals together. They all would have been really solid in quality, but I feel like the one that we put together for the festival raises the bar.
We look forward. We try to say, how does the work that's in this year's festival, what does it tell us about where the independent arena is evolving? Studio filmmaking is still about money. It's still about theatrically making films that have the broadest possible audience. That's not what independent film is about. There may be some filmmakers come here hoping they'll find their bag of riches. There are more filmmakers that come here hoping that their work will get seen.